we're going to continue with the rear end of our SCT410 buggy build, moving on to bag F, which contains some highly customizable parts, the rear hubs and camber links. The rear hubs and camber links bag F, contains parts that you can really use to begin to customize according to your driving style or particular race surface. Pre-built metal drive shafts that are lightweight as well as incredibly strong, although there's no customizable inserts at the bottom of each hub though. Finishing off, we'll be adding our rear camber links, which need to be constructed beforehand, so with that said, let's get started. We'll begin by inserting a flanged bearing into the front, and another bearing into the rear of the hub, before feeding through a drive shaft, and checking it's nice and free. Secure the axle by inserting a retaining pin, and cover with a 17mm wheel hex, taking care to line the pin up with the groove on the inside of the hex. Once in place, insert and tighten a 3mm set screw along with some thread lock applied, and only until snug. And with that, the first axle is complete and should be totally free moving. Repeat the same steps for the opposite side. And with that said, our rear hubs and drive shafts are complete. Both should turn freely with no binding whatsoever. Okay, so we're now ready to install this onto the rear assembly. Start by inserting the dog bone end of the drive shaft into the cup and seat the hub into position. Although before feeding the hinge pin through, we need to add shims to the rear side of the hub, which need to be cut from the plastic tree, 3mm in total in the rear only. After which the hinge pin can slide through, and is secured into place with a black lock nut on both sides, holding one side with a wrench and tightening the other. Again, we don't want to over tighten here and create any binding issues, just enough so it's snug. Repeat the same process on the other side too, and check to ensure everything is free moving. There should be no binding here whatsoever. So with rear hubs and drive shafts now in place, we need to build our camber links. To do this, we need to insert the turnbuckles into the rod ends. The best way to do this is to apply a small amount of grease to the turnbuckle threads. Then push it hard into the rod end as you twist. You'll find it easier to use a wrench to grip the turnbuckle as you twist the rod end into place. Repeat on the opposite end, noting that each turnbuckle should have one straight rod end and one angled rod end. Once complete, the turnbuckle should have a 35.5mm gap between rod ends. There's a handy actual size diagram in the manual to compare against if needed. It's the same process on the second link. Also note that the small notch on the turnbuckle must face the left side of the vehicle. Because both rod ends differ, take care to build with the notch facing the straight rod end, and the second with the notch facing the angled rod end. This way they'll sit on the vehicle in the correct orientation. With links prepared, insert a pivot ball into each rod end. Note that two size pivot balls are supplied. Insert the shorter ball into the angled rod end, and the longer into the straight rod end. Time to get these installed, so with the rear assembly pointing forwards, the angled rod end will connect to the top of the hub, and the other to the shock tower. Again, we have some customization available here, although the stock positions of the outer hole on the hub, where we insert a 20mm caphead screw, secured with an M3 lock nut on the opposite end. The other end of the link attaches to the shock tower. Again, plenty of options here, but stock position being the inside upper hole, where we insert another 20mm caphead screw to hold in position, while on the opposite end we place an 8mm washer, before securing into place with another flanged lock nut. One side complete. Install the final remaining camber link on the opposite side, again ensuring the notch in the turnbuckle is to the left, which should be true when placing the angled rod end towards the hub. And that's our rear end assembly pretty much complete. Everything is turning nice and freely. Super high quality stuff. At this point we can place the rear assembly to one side and move across to the front end assembly in the next video, with bag G.